Hi, it's Handy Andy Tech Tips here. So you've clicked on this video wanting to see a microphone review, but first I just wanted to ask, who would want to buy a dedicated microphone these days? I mean, virtually every one of the electronic devices that you own, be it smartphone, laptop or tablet, has a microphone built in.
But in my opinion, comparing a dedicated mic to an integrated one is almost like comparing a DSLR to a phone camera. The phone camera will work, but the DSLR will just produce far more professional results. In a similar way, a good microphone like the Samson C01U Pro will just add that much more professionalism to everything you do with audio, whether that be recording vocals or even close miking a musical instrument. In fact, the C01U Pro is perfect for both of those uses. It has a condenser element that has a super-cardioid pattern on it. That basically means that the frequency response is most linear at the front of the microphone, so it'll pick up your instrument or your vocals without too much distracting background hiss or ambient room noise. So this is a USB microphone. It has an analog to digital converter included in it, and what really amazed me is just how easy it was to set up. You simply plug the included USB Type-B cable into the bottom of the mic and the other end into the computer that you're using it with, and you can instantly start recording. There's actually no drivers required, which is a massive bonus, and of course it works with both Windows and Mac OS X. And while you're recording, you'll have access to some pretty cool features. One of them is the headphone port, which gives you zero latency monitoring. Essentially, it means that you can listen to what the microphone is picking up in real time. But since there's no volume control on this headphone output, it could get pretty loud. And talking about loud, the last thing that you want is clipping. It can sound really ugly, especially when it's applied to vocals. And if you're not quite sure what clipping is, it's essentially a square wave effect that is resulted by recording too loud in digital audio. Thankfully, this will never happen if you have the C01U Pro, because there's this little LED on the front. It's normally green, but when it turns red, you know that you've got your recording level set too high. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's no drivers included with the C01U Pro. But what is included? What do you get with this microphone? Well, firstly, you get a really nice box. And I'm actually not joking when I say that. The box is really useful because it allows you to store the microphone and the tripod in a very nice padded foam enclosure. But not that you'll be needing too much padding because the microphone is really durable. It's made of a solid die-cast metal body. I'm not quite sure exactly what metal, but I'm going to speculate aluminium. Anyway, something really tough. What's not quite so good though is the tripod stand. It's basic and it works well enough, but I've got two complaints about it. Firstly, it has no shock mount, so it might pick up some vibrations. So say for example, if you had the microphone on the same desk as your laptop, which has a fan in it, then the vibrations from that actually might transfer into the microphone and give you some undesirable hiss. Also, the stand actually seems a little bit prone to tipping over. The first day that I got this microphone, it actually tipped over 3 times, and the third time was onto my laptop screen, so yeah, I wasn't too impressed by that. So apart from these two main components, you've got two other things in the box. The first thing is an adapter to convert the 5/8 inch thread on the swivel mount to a 3/8 inch thread, which is actually the standard in Europe, I believe. Also, you've just got a basic short USB Type-B cable. So all these accessories and specifications are all well and good, but how does it actually sound? Well, you're listening to it right now. So this is basically the audio directly from the microphone. All I've essentially done to the signal is applied some compression and limiting so that the audio from my video is at a competitive loudness. If I run a frequency analysis on the recorded audio, you can see that there's signal right up to 22.05 kHz, which makes sense since the C01U Pro has a 16-bit ADC that samples at 44.1 kHz. In other words, it's CD quality. Now, of course, the manual does claim that there's only a flat frequency response from 20 Hz to 18 kHz with this microphone, but honestly, the difference between that and 22 kHz is really academic. You really couldn't notice those high frequencies, especially when you're recording vocals. And now be prepared for a huge downgrade in quality, because I'm going from the C01U Pro
to the microphone in my Dell Inspiron laptop. Now, to be honest with you, in comparison to the C01U, this sounds like I'm being recorded underwater. There's not much bass and not much treble. It sounds mostly mid-range to me. And it just proves that in spite of this being a stereo microphone setup with 2 pickups, it can't hold a candle to the mono-based Samson C01U Pro. Wow, I'm glad that that's over, and to me it just really proves how much of a difference good audio can make, especially if you're doing video production. You can have the highest quality video in the world, but if your audio is bad, then it will just let down the entire production.
But the C01U Pro will not let you down. It's a fantastic device with awesome audio quality, and honestly, if you're looking for a professional microphone, then I'd say this one is the one to buy. Hey, I'm Handy Andy, and thanks so much for watching my video. Please subscribe if you want more tech videos, because I've got heaps more awesome ones coming right up.